All right. Can you tell me what your average day as a mom in school looks like?
It's a little bit busy. Well, I go to school twice a week, and so on Mondays and Wednesdays, and she wakes up around 6:30. I get up with her, and we play around and we eat breakfast sometimes, and she goes down for her first nap after a couple of hours. And so when I have school, I don't get to take a nap because I'm usually getting things ready for school. And so she goes down for a nap, and then I go to school, and Josh comes home, and so we switch off because he works in the mornings. So then I go to school, and then I come home, and she's usually asleep or waking up from her nap, and so then I nurse her, and then we just get started on our day. So usually that means playing and eating and nursing and following her around the house, making sure she doesn't peel the paint off the walls and eat cords that are plugged in.
Do you do homework at home?
I do, when I can. I don't get to do homework while she's awake because she's too distracting and I need to focus. So usually in the morning, if I do have something to do right before class, then I usually try to reserve the things that don't require a lot of mental concentration.
Yeah.
But yeah, when she takes her nap in the afternoon, and then after she goes to bed in the evening is when I do homework. So sometimes that means sacrificing a grade if I don't get to spend a whole lot of time doing homework in the evening.
What would you say is the hardest part about your day?
Probably not having help. So like we don't have any family who live around here, and we don't have enough money to hire someone even just for a few hours a day. And so not having help kind of spills over into every area of life. So
Can you give me an example where having family would be helpful or
definitely
help?
So so when she was born, my mom was with us in the hospital, but she left the day we came home from the hospital. And so, so we didn't have anybody to help us when we were home. And so Josh had to go back to work after 3 days. And so I was home alone with her from then on. And so that was really hard.
So after 3 days, you were
I was on my
taking
own.
care. Wow. For how many hours a day?
Pretty much full time, because Josh would come home from work and school and he'd have to do homework. And so on occasion he would help a little bit, but I'd say 80% of the time it was all me.
Yeah.
And so that was really, really difficult.
So if you had like family that could step in for a few hours.
That would have been so helpful, because there were times when I just couldn't shower because she was needing me, or for the first 3-4 months of her life she wouldn't take a nap without being held. And so I had to figure out how to do things with her, either not doing them or having her in the ergo carrier. She wasn't in the ergo until she was 6 weeks old because she hated it. So that was really difficult. And I had to go back to work when she was 2 weeks old, and I took her with me.
Well, what do you do for work?
I'm a nanny and a tutor. And so, yeah, I just didn't have anybody to help me around the house and do laundry, do dishes, and take her if I needed to take a nap or a shower.
So you don't have childcare for when you go to work. You bring her with.
Yeah.
Is that difficult, or is that?
It had its challenges in the beginning for sure, because we commute to Irvine, which is about a half hour, 45-minute drive.
Yeah.
Without traffic, and so I'd have to schedule going down there and coming back around her nap schedule. And in the beginning it was fine because she would just sleep all the time, but since then it's become much more difficult because she's on a much more strict schedule. So yeah, if I had family around, it would be so much more helpful. Now that I started school, I don't get to start my homework until she's in bed. Or I start it when Josh is home and he's trying to do his work, and so his homework is sacrificed.
Yeah.
Also. So, yeah, it's been difficult to figure out how to manage and coordinate, and usually it ends in one of us having to sacrifice something. So, like this last weekend, I was working on a couple projects, and Josh was working on a project, and so I just had to think about which project or which assignment was the least amount of points, and I basically had to do what I could, but knew that it wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
And,
do your teachers like understand that at all?
Yeah, but I don't expect them to be more gracious than they need to be.
Do they ever let you skip assignments or?
One of them is actually really gracious. He's let the whole class redo a couple of them, but I haven't redone assignments because of her. I don't really want to be treated any differently than anybody else.
Yeah.
So.
Do you have any sort of child care right now?
No.
So it's just
me.
just you, and then switching off with your husband.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have anything. My mother-in-law came to visit a couple weeks ago, and so she stayed for a few days, and so that was somewhat helpful because she took her and was just there to feed her and change her diaper, so I could get housework done because, like I said, I can't do homework when she's home.
Yeah.
She usually wants me, or I had to explain what to do while I was there, so it was helpful in a sense, but not helpful in another sense.
Yeah.
I couldn't just leave her with instructions.
Yeah.
But my husband and I were able to go on a date, and so that was really nice, and that was worth it.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as school goes, she took her for a few hours so I could go to the library.
Okay.
Josh is able to do his homework with her home and not be distracted by her, but
Yeah.
so which has been a little bit more difficult because she needs me more than she needs Josh, because we're still nursing.
Yeah.
And so
Makes sense.
it's
Yeah.
hard.
Is finances the biggest thing keeping you from finding childcare?
Yeah, I would say so. Because there are plenty of people I know who are well qualified and I trust them, but I can't have them just come over just because we're friends.
Yeah.
If I had the money, I would totally do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I wish we could afford to do that, but we just can't. Like, I have to work because we don't have enough to pay for our own things, like rent and bills. So, yeah, if we were able to take a loan out or something, that would definitely help. It would alleviate a lot of stress and make things a lot better.
Were you already enrolled at Biola when you had her?
No, actually, I enrolled right before the semester started.
Okay, so this is your first semester then?
Yes.
Okay. What made you decide to go to school as a mother, or was that always in the plan?
No, it wasn't really in the plan. I just decided that life was just going to be hard anyway, and I got tired.